back. My dad says I sound like Fonzie. He keeps Fonzie. I don't know, but he keeps telling me to check it out. I checked it out. I do. Every time I answer the phone with him, I go, hey. One of the many ways I like to answer the phone. The other one is, howdy. Anyways, welcome back to the No Niche Podcast. This is episode 20. This has been a lot of different things, including back in like 2017, the Own Your Dream podcast. Then I changed it to the Cole Connor podcast, which I still really like, and I'm kind of sad that I changed it. But I changed it to the No Niche podcast because it feels like that is a good representation of myself over the years. And yeah, we're back with episode 20. Today we have an absolutely amazing, fabulous comedian guest. We have an amazing guest today, Bernice. So excited for her to be on the podcast as like my debut back in the podcast game. She's a fantastic comedian, dancer, friend, hustler, actress, and just an authentic good person. With the launch of our new collaborative comedy song, Asian Chicken Salad, I figured it would be a good time to sit down and have a long form conversation because I do think some people are still confused. They don't understand, what we're doing, etc. So we just kind of talked more about that, acting, how we met, why we work well together, and even taking Molly. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Let's no niche it with Bernice.
I just tell them I got no niche. Please don't speak if you don't know me. I'm so tired of living low-key.
Yeah, it turned out.
Yeah. Do you think it looks dark? I feel like it doesn't really look that dark. Rich, what do you think?
I think that's actually a little better.
Yeah, because that's coming from the front, too.
Yeah.
Jesus. So many things.
Okay. Oh, that window. You can turn that window on, up, the blinds, right? It's a little bit natural light on the side. It's just like otherwise it's all from the top.
Mm-hmm. What were you gonna say again, Rich? What I was thinking is using it to be able to crop, because I don't really think we need to see like our feet necessarily.
Yeah. We can zoom in more.
Yeah.
Get closer.
It's in, so I have it wide so we can we can crop in and crop out, and yeah. I think we're okay.
Okay.
All right, how you feel?
Good.
Good. Good. Rich, are you ready? No, it started already. Yeah. I'm gonna include some of this in it. I know, so it makes it fun. I'm gonna include some of this. So I'm here with Bernice, and Bernice, I feel like I mess up your last name every time. Is it Yi or Ye?
It's yeah.
It's Ye.
Yeah.
I don't mess it up. I get it right.
Just say yes and come yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
This is the one.
I like that. Okay, I was feeling insecure about that, but we're good.
We're good.
We're good.
I usually don't even tell people. Like, I just say, yeah, E. Because, like, I don't mind that I say, yeah, they think I said a yes, and then they just go for the E. And then, so it's like, I'm too lazy.
I thought you might be, I thought you were doing that to me, but the opposite, but we're good. We're good.
We're good.
We're
Yeah.
good. We're good. I'm glad we're good.
One day I was just like, you've been pronouncing my last name wrong the whole time. You feel really guilty.
Yeah,
I'll ask a big favor. That's what I will do.
Yeah, that's how I felt. So okay, we're here. This is my first podcast back in a long time, so it might be kind of rusty, guys. But we're with an amazing guest today, Bernice.
Yay!
So tell the people a little bit about, if you had to say like who you are in like a sentence or two. I know it's really hard, but. What would you say?
My name is Bernice. Yeah, I'm a stand-up comedian, originally born and raised from China. Did tech for a long time, and now we just had a comedy rap together.
Yes, Asian Chicken Salad, which will it be out? No, or maybe
it will be really the song and the music video.
Yes,
will be out on Friday, October 6th at midnight.
Should we drop this before, you think, or after? Probably after.
I feel like when people listen to your things and if we do plug, it will be nice for people to right away they can check things out. Unless
I agree.
Unless your fans are so good, they will pre-save everything. But I feel like it's so hard to. Well, hey, Cole's fan might be like amazing. Yeah. My fans, like, I can't rely on them to like save it. But
I feel like mine are probably the same.
But they're
no
really good at a call to action, right? Like, so hey, check this thing out.
Yeah.
Do it right now, and
Yeah, I get that. Okay, so probably after. because we can't count on y'all to pre-save. So probably after. Anyways, okay, so I feel like your story is so interesting, and I feel like I've only heard bits and pieces over the course of our friendship, but I feel like coming from tech into comedy, how was that? How did that start? Like, were you always like, I always want to be a comedian, or were
Oh,
you?
no way. No way.
It just kinda
I
happened.
did not think that was an option at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, growing up in China, at the time I grew up, there's no stand-up comedy. It's not a
Like not a
format.
thing.
It's also not something, even though we have comedy, we don't do comedy the same way. Like, talk shit about your president, the government, and like, oh, the celebrity. No way, right? Like, you don't say things like that. But like working in tech, coming to this country, the first thing, learn the language, learn the culture, just get settled the job, like financially secure. That's my first priority for a long time. But what I've noticed is at the work, I always like at some point I discovered dancing and I just love it. When I start to do something creative that is not so logical, I just am much happier.
Me too. I
Yeah.
totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
So-
something about just being creative in general. I feel you. Yeah.
Yeah, at some point I discovered the comedy. That's the story. If you want me to talk about it, I will. And I
do.
just found because like even at work, I love to. I'm so different. I have a different point of view, right? Coming from a different culture, I just make comments or I observe things and always accidentally make people laugh. I didn't even meant to make them laugh. I just found I always ended up make them laugh by just speaking truth and what's on my mind.
Yeah. It's natural.
Mm-hmm.
Natural talent. Yeah. That's cool.
That's one of the things, but it's also during that time I do this whole Korean beauty nighttime routine that you wash your face, you do a mask. It's 1 hour.
Wow.
And I'm bored, so I was
I need
like
to start doing that.
I and I was like, I want to watch something. And at a time, Netflix comedy special, that's when the time was booming.
Okay. Okay.
And it's perfect, right? It's about 1 hour. It's not addictive. When you're done, you're done.
yeah. Yeah.
So I started
watching Love Is Blind last night, and I watched like 5 episodes, and I was like,
Yes, you got stuck.
yeah.
It's too addictive.
Yeah. Yeah. So the hour's good. That makes
The
sense.
hour is good,
Yeah.
and then so I will be watching. So I watch a lot of stand-up comedy special. That's when I realized, you know what? I think like them, even though I never thought about I could do this. And then I saw Ali Wong's special. Then I'm like, oh, people who have similar experiences can be funny and people like it. It's relatable. So 1 year I decided to sign up for like I'm going to just do one open mic as my New Year's resolution.
That's so nerve-wracking, I imagine. Like, how did you feel? Was that a crazy nervous experience?
No,
Oh, it wasn't.
that's the thing. I have a different experience for me. When I was first into comedy, I was not nervous. I was somehow more confident because you don't know what to be afraid of.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
when I was like, I'm gonna sign up for my very first open mic because I told people my New Year's resolution. They were like, oh, there's a stand-up comedy class you can take. So I was like, by the end of the year, do one open mic. By February, I already signed up for stand-up comedy class. And then at the end of class, there's a showcase. And I was like, I have nothing to lose. This is not my job.
Yeah, easy.
So it's just a fun thing to do. And I did the set and everybody loved it. And I did another one, and it just like people keep coming to me. It's like you gotta do this. You gotta do this, and people started booking me. So one thing takes you another.
So at this point, how old were you at this point?
How old? Oh my God! So
Just like
you can calculate now. They never realize I'm really old, but that's okay. I think at that point probably like mid-30s.
in your mid-30s. Okay. So I just think it's an interesting conversation, and anything we talk about, we don't have to talk about. Just say,
I know,
if you
I
want,
know,
like,
yeah,
cut it,
yeah.
you can.
Of course.
But because I just turned, or not just turned, I'm almost 31.
I know you're such a baby.
Yeah. But it's every year that goes by, I'm doing something creative. It's like hard to what is it? It's you just feel like you're supposed to have made it in some way at a certain age. That's what I feel like. Especially being a rapper, everyone's young when they rap, and then you get older, and it's like, is it weird that I'm 30 years old and rapping? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to think about it. But you always feel young. Like I still feel I feel like a smarter young person
Mm-hmm.
as a 30-year-old. So for you, did you think about age because kind of starting a new thing, or is that not something you really thought about?
Definitely thought about age, which also see there's so many creative things you can do. And I remember when I was working at a Hulu, and everybody, your manager will ask you, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" Right? People will come, "I want to be a manager. I want to be this and that." My answer has always been, in 5 years, I want to find a creative outlet that I can call it, do it professionally. I will have an income, but I have built up enough passive income to not rely on that creative outlet to make a living.
Yeah.
That's my vision,
beautiful,
and
yeah.
I did it, right? But then in the meanwhile, so like I call myself a realistic dreamer. So I want to do something creative, but I'm also realistic. I don't want to like say I love dancing, but hey, I'm in my mid-30s. I'm not going to be like a professional dancer. And then and as you age, that craft you're less like
Yeah,
in
dancing
demand.
particularly.
So comedy is something, as you get older, you actually get a more shelf life. Like, so
That's true.
it's not like being a model.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly
I
right.
did consider that as a factor.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, yeah, and acting, I feel like it's similar to comedy in that you just kind of get better and you get
Life experiences.
Yeah.
You need to live a life in order to tell the story, right?
yeah, and music is actually technically the same way. I think it's just the rap part seems like a young man's game, but everything
Pop,
else,
young, rap.
yeah, maybe pop too. Yeah, but I mean, some people play music until they're 70, 80. They're performing, doing crazy stuff. But yeah, that's interesting. I did wonder that. So okay, you're 30-ish, 30 mid 30s, and you did the showcase. How did that experience go? And the first time opening up, like, did you kill it the first time?
The first time I actually did kill it. Like I was actually recently I went back and I watched that video. I was like, damn, I was good. I was so in the moment. I was like doing a little crowd, not crowd work, but like coming in with play with the crowd, and so confident. Because what happens now, but it's not a necessarily a bad thing. After you perform at all different places, in the way I know what to be afraid of. With experience, sometimes you walk into a room and you're like, they don't like me. Okay, I gotta work hard. I gotta. But then, like without that experience, I just assume everybody likes me.
Yeah, that's
I walk in the room because I work in tech. At that point, my career is going really well, and I know I'm good. I'm smart. I earned it. So like, I walk in the room and just like, you gotta listen to what I have to say. That's the confidence I have.
Yeah.
And it carries.
Over.
Yeah, and then after performing at different parts of America, I realized there are places people will just assume I'm not funny.
Yeah.
I'm swimming upstream.
Where are those places? Specific
Well, you'll be surprised. Actually, rural America is not bad.
That's cool.
Yeah, a lot of the rural,
like non-judgmental. You're saying pretty much.
Yeah, and they are more open-minded than you think. Like or friendly. On
that
the
makes sense.
but then there are times like like they don't see how but when I'm in the early days, I have this more bad bitch, badass, like
energy,
very strong energy, and that people are not used to. That can throw people off, and
they don't like it, or they
because
do like
they never seen anyone like all the stereotype like Asian women are submissive or like that's not what they see. So sometimes it's not they're not friendly. They're just like couldn't wrap their head around right away, and they're not like along with you, Later I've learned a little bit of you got to read the room. You got to feel them out. You got to lure them in. So maybe you have to start with something they're familiar with and then get them to listen and then hit them hard.
That makes sense.
So that comes with experience, but more awareness. But in the meanwhile, sometimes you just know, okay, I got to do something like,
Yeah, that totally makes sense. So switching gears a little bit, is that Butters crying?
This is Butters.
So cute.
We'll see what he does. Sometimes he can go like, I need attention.
Yeah. I like the purple collar. Butters is her cat, by the way. Yeah, so okay, coming to LA, been here like 3 years,
No,
or longer, shorter,
less
2 years,
less
2
than a
years,
year. Not even a year.
not even a year.
About to be a year.
Oh wow, that's insane. I don't know why I thought it was at least the same as me. So you're acting. You did the acting class like right when you got
Yeah.
here, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we met at the acting class.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of want to ask you about acting in general. How do you feel? Well, first off, was LA kind of what you expected?
I don't really have too much like expectations. I just know one thing I know is like the comedy scene here is very hard because the scene is so big. There's so many talents, there's so many celebrity here. Coming in here, in Seattle, you want to go to open mic, is you sign up, you go on. There's the real audience. Here, you have to pay to do. You get 5 minutes is $5 to do it, and there's no audience. It's just comics in the room, right? Like it's hard to get feedback to begin with, and to do shows, you don't expect to get paid, and you don't really do longer set. Like in Seattle, I would do 30 minutes. Sometimes like people like I did 45, like an hour, and it's not often, but you get those longer, like a minimum 20 minutes. But here, you do 7 minutes, 8 minutes.
Yeah, they are. Every show I've been to, it's been pretty quick.
Yeah, it's quick.
Yeah.
Shorter attention span, but also this is called a showcase town. So you are showcasing people, and the people when do show. It's hard. It's so competitive. So it's hard to sell tickets. So a lot of times the show want to put many faces. So if this person want to see.
They do that. You're right. They really do.
I mean, it's like basically the K-pop, right? Like BTS. If you don't like this guy, you like that guy.
Yeah, that's true. And it is kind of like that sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, or like somebody got friends. Okay, if anyone have like everyone have 3 friends, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
That's kind of how they run the show, independent show at least. Yeah.
So there's no expectations though. So you just kind of came and experienced it and figured that out.
I know that part, and so just have an open mind. So don't expect too much. Right?
Yeah,
I did not know what acting will be like. Yeah. So other than comedy, I have no other knowledge or expectation.
Yeah. Other than comedy, you mean?
Yeah.
Just interesting. So do you feel like? How did you feel? I guess just like a side note about the acting class in general. What did you learn from acting class that you remember?
Okay, so from our acting class,
See, it's the same as me.
yeah. So we met at do we mention the name or no?
Sure.
Yeah, we met at the Leslie Kong, right? So I feel
I recommend.
yeah. I feel like the class. So we, my husband and I did on Zoom actually before we moved to Seattle,
Okay.
and our class is the first in-person class.
Okay, got it.
And I feel like from Leslie Kong we learned so much about, like before that I saw acting just like show up, and there's so much,
so many things
yeah,
the surface happen.
Yeah, the craft is so hard, and like I just have so much more respect for acting and what is involved. But I also realize if I just go with the traditional pure acting career path, it's probably like, again, realistic dreamer is not necessary for me. First of all, I have an accent, and second, the craft itself, and do I really want to be all different people? No, I actually just want to be myself.
Yeah, I totally get that. I'm still figuring that out, I think, for myself too. I think I like the idea of being able to try different people, but I also like the idea of just being myself too. So
yeah, well, even the character that from myself, there's like a true part of myself. Yeah. So in a way that like I want to write my own story, right? So like whether it's a comedy or later that's more serious stuff, like I think I'm a writer at a heart. I want to write my story. So maybe that will turn into something that I can act.
That would be so cool. Yeah, I feel like we all have like some piece of our life that we really want to tell into a story, but it's hard to actually be able to make that happen, like, because it takes money and time and blah blah blah. Yeah,
just like a music video takes so much work.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we probably should. How long has it been? I can't tell. Oh yeah,
so we're 6. Yeah.
I just want to make sure we talk about the music video. Okay, so that we're talking about the acting. I wanted to ask you. Oh, so on my channel, a lot of what I talk about is like being an entrepreneur. And you say realistic dreamer, and I don't really know the details of what you do, but I know that you make money other ways. Can you talk about any of that? Like some of the other ways you make money outside of comedy and social?
Yeah, because I think for me, it's always okay. So when I was first working at Microsoft, I okay. So at some point I went to Microsoft, and then once I had my green card, when I can actually change job, you're not allowed to change jobs until you have green card because the visa was sponsored by the employer.
Yeah, employer.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So then I said I want to do something more fun. So I went to a small startup, like a consulting company. I was doing business development, like career change, right? But that company was quickly bankrupt, so they laid everybody off.
Wow.
But when I was laid off, I moved out of my condo to a tiny little studio on Capitol Hill in Seattle. And I got rid of so much stuff, and I started to spend less money. I rented out my condo to somebody else to live in it. All of a sudden, I actually saved more money than when I was at a Microsoft.
Wow.
Meaning that I'm not working. I don't have a paycheck come in, but I actually have more money left in my saving account compared to the days when I was working at Microsoft.
Insane.
That is an aha moment. Really.
That was from renting it out and saving, renting and saving,
and spending less.
and spending less. Yeah. Wow.
And that is such an aha moment for me because I realize it's not how much money your paycheck is. It's how you use that money and also how you spend it. And when your work is so stressful, I feel like I oftentimes like I got to buy this and go have a drink just to make myself feel better.
Yep.
But then like when I'm like living free, I don't need that. I was doing the things I love. That is a kind of a triggering, not trigger, like just that's the aha moment for me.
Sure.
And so later I when I have other jobs, I start to do single family home. I bought a place, I rented it out, but I also living in it, and I was doing a lot of like hardcore maintain handy woman work. That was my own handy woman. Awesome. There's a lot of sacrifice. In the summer, Seattle, anyone who lived in Seattle knows that the weather is brutal until summer. 3 months is the most beautiful time, right? So when the sunny weekend come, my friends want me to go have fun. Sometimes I'm just on my knees painting bathroom walls. But that
takes that
sacrifice also helped me to build up some like equity, build up passive rental income.
That's so cool,
so I saved, so now I have some like passive income, not much, but then again it's the balance of like what you spend, what make you happy, and then how much you earn.
Yeah, because all of your extra time, how long did it take you to build your following? Because you have a pretty big following. And was that from like just a couple years, or was it like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years?
It's started, I think, like during the pandemic. There's a lockdown. I mean, before pandemic, I don't even do social media.
Okay. Wow.
It's insane. Yeah. Like I didn't, when I first started doing comedy, I didn't even have Instagram. I didn't have Instagram.
Because you're so good at it now. You're like on top of it.
Right now,
great.
I'm trying. It takes a lot of work. But even like, other than Instagram. Oh, yeah, I mean, I only signed up for TikTok because during COVID, everybody said, that's what you do. You sign up for TikTok. Yeah. And at that point, I still have no clue with how Instagram works. I have like 800 followers and stuff. Starting posting random things on TikTok. I have no idea how it works. But, if you have one video goes viral, one day you can have like 1,000, 2K, 3K following. And Instagram, actually, I took a course. So it's a shout out to, I mean, she doesn't even know, it's a cat, Corey. She during the pandemic, I got this ads like Instagram makeover. And now you get a lot of those ads, but she got a British accent, so you got I want to share
extra cool.
Cool British accent. And then she does this free webinar, and usually those are bad, but hey, I have time now, right? So I watched it.
Some of them are good. I've learned a lot.
But like, yeah, even the free ones, you instantly learn something that makes sense. You know, it's good. And then so I signed up. It's actually, it called like 8 weeks. You can take up to 6 months to finish.
Wow.
It took me a long time, but her approach is so different. Like her approach asks you to like look at yourself, like what's your brand, what's your brand strategy,
the right
how
way.
do you, how do you do design, how do you do. So I started to take some of the exercises she put me through, and I really start to figure out why I want to do comedy, what my comedy is about. I start to
That's cool that
put more content.
that really worked, because there is a lot of those, and yeah, I think people never follow through all the way with them. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard
But
to
you-
follow through.
But you follow through.
Follow through. It takes a lot of patience. I mean, in a way, luckily there's the pandemic, because if there's no COVID, there's no way I
Yeah.
would be able to sit through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just like something just went viral pretty much once you started posting, once you did the makeover.
Not really. Not really. I think it's only when, um, you know, it's interesting because when I start to follow her, thing, I had a lot of fun creating content, the content I like, and then, I didn't gain mass following at all. But then people start to have like, not my friends. Before that, it's only people follow me on my friends and coworkers. After that, there's the people saw my content and like my content. They start to tell me why do they like my content, which actually it correlates to what the exercise said. This is what I want to project out to the world. So I know that's good. I know that's good. It's not giving me much following, but later when I start to when things reopen, I start to perform. I was looking at all the content I was making before, like all the dance, fun things. I don't have time. I was like, all I do is go to shows and do open mic, do material. The easiest thing for me to do is actually just took my stand-up clip, start to post it, right? And I was like, you know what? No matter it's good or not, let me just push it out. And so what happened? And then people really like it. Because also it's easy. It is what I literally do, so it's harder to be it's easier to be consistent.
That makes
And
sense,
that's when it just start building up. And then sometimes one clip went more better than the other, and then when viral, then you start to gain following. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, and the consistency you feel like has really helped a lot.
Consistency helps, but now I don't know because
It changes.
it changes so much.
Yeah.
I used to be, there's time I do it every day. Well, I think that's another thing about living in LA, moving to LA is very different than Seattle. In Seattle, I feel life is very simple. I'm very single-minded. Stand-up comedy, I write, I go to mic, I try it, I do shows. Blah, very easy. Or contact people, booking, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Here, I feel like the entrepreneur part is more, and I'm like less. I'm thinking outside just the comedy itself a lot more, and your day is left with very little time. So yeah. So hard to be that consistent. I can't do every day posting content.
Yeah, and throwing on like the music video that
Right.
you put so much work into making that happen. I'm sure you've learned just an incredible amount, but even things like that, like you're talking to press, you're putting together releases, you're brainstorming a marketing strategy, and there is like barely any time to do other stuff. So I totally get it.
And then we're still doing shows.
Yeah, and you're still doing it, but then the being consistent on social media, it's hard, but it's just part of it. Part of the game. What were you gonna say?
Part of the game. But I also feel like everything we do, I try to feel like find where creativity can kick in. Like all the, whether it's do press or it's do marketing and stuff, I'm trying to like, creativity does not stop just at making the art, but also how you talk about the art, how you engage other people. And so I try to let my brain have some fun in those boring activities.
That's a great way to look at it too, because it doesn't have to be boring.
Yeah,
it really doesn't. All of it, and it all should be a part of the creative process. I like that. It's inspired me.
So since this may be out after the music video,
it will be.
I do want to mention. So you know how we use the chopstick to dance, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna get you. You gotta say yes. No matter what, you're gonna say yes.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna do a dance challenge on social media,
Yes.
and it's gonna take social media by storm.
Yes.
It's gonna be called the Chop Challenge.
The chop challenge.
The
Okay,
chop
okay, I
challenge.
saw this email, but I haven't really looked into it yet. So
Yeah.
you're in it.
We'll talk after.
you wanna
It's
talk
very
after?
easy, but
Okay.
then you gotta participate.
I will participate. Too. Yes.
You should
Yes,
too.
You should too. The drop challenge out now. Okay. So yeah, we'll definitely do that. Let's make sure we talk about that.
Yes.
Let's not forget.
Mm.
Okay, I wanted to go back. There was like a couple things. I got this. Okay, we talked about LA. We talked about acting. Okay, so we met in acting class. And so what do you think? There's a lot of actors and there's a lot of people in LA. Why do us two and the people that you end up working with, like, why does it happen? What do you think it is? Is it two people that are in like the right space? Is it two people that are just open? Because I feel like I see a lot of people that they might act like they want to, but then they just never do.
Yeah.
So what is the difference to you?
Okay. Wow, that's a great question. I feel like to start everything, and there's a concept in Chinese called 缘分. 缘分 is almost is a little bit like a destiny meant to be. I feel like it requires a little bit the karma on your side.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get what you
because
mean,
the fact that like if Rich, my husband, wasn't like talking to you,
That's true.
I don't know if we would get to hang out,
That's
and
true.
if we
There's
don't
that
hang
mutual
yeah.
thing, yeah.
And if we don't hang out, I don't know if this. I will never find out you're a rapper,
That's
and
true.
like you would know.
So there is that for sure.
There is that for sure.
Yeah.
But by working with different people, I feel like there is how open you are with an idea, because I feel most of the time when I bring up, hey, I have this idea to do a comedy. Even if you are a rapper, you're probably like, yeah, I don't think so. Like a lot of people have this doubt.
Yeah.
They're less open to explore that.
That's true, yeah.
And then I feel like when we collaborate, every time I have an idea, you're like, oh, I think that can work. And you always like,
Yeah.
yes and. I think that's
Yeah, that's a great way to say it.
you always yes and.
Yeah.
You know, which allows me to throw my crazy ideas, and we both take it better together.
I think that is actually the big piece, and even working with Pat on some of the skits that we're doing, kind of like what you're saying, and you're the same way. It's kind of like we're both throwing ideas out there, and no one is judgmental, or no one's like, that was a shitty idea. Really, it's more of like, okay, and then you say yes, and then you're like, and let's maybe do this, and let's maybe do that. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing is like I feel like you are so reliable, like.
Thank you. And vice versa.
Thank you. Because how busy you are, you're doing so many things. But if you say you're going to do this by this time, you do this by this time. I don't have to chase you down. And I feel like for in the world of like everybody have so many things to do, to collaborate, it's just so important to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to do your part. I guess I'm kind of talking to people listening too. It's
Yeah.
like you really do have to do. You have to
Yeah.
do your part. You can't expect one person to do everything. You have to at least meet them at least halfway.
Yeah.
Um,
And then communicate. I feel like there are times like something come up where like originally we have a plan, but if you are
like
busy,
today, I was an hour 20 minutes late. Yes. Yeah.
yeah, like some people, like when I was working before too, I do program management, right? Like project management. So many times,
That
like
helps you a lot.
yeah, you can tell.
Yes,
It's a past life.
Yeah.
Like so many times we say this is agreed upon deadline, and well, so if you an hour before the deadline, you know it's not happening. It's better to tell the person involved that, hey, I need more time. This is a problem I'm having.
Yeah.
It's a group effort trying to figure out what's next.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just let it run, and the hours passed quiet, and they were just working hard to say, oh, I'm doing it as fast as I can. But no, it's a team project.
Yeah.
If the sooner people can be keep up to date and knowing something's late, we can come up with a plan together. I
Yes.
think that's very important.
Yeah. So today, I realized I was going to be late, and as soon as I realized I was going to be late, I was like, hey, I'm going to be late.
Yeah.
We need to move this to this time. And I feel like there has been a lot of things that just with the rollout and the making of the songs and stuff,
Yeah.
I try to, and vice versa, if there's something's not as planned, we say it immediately.
you know what like once you told me that, I was like, okay, I have 2 hours. I have a little video I need to make. Instead of 1 hour, now I have 2 hours. I was just literally making that video, and then before I finished. So it's great.
Versus if I would have been like at, I don't know, like 3:45, you know, hey, oh God, I really am gonna be like 45 minutes late. Then you're just like waiting around. It's like,
Yeah.
that's the worst. Yeah, I hate when someone doesn't respect your time.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it makes me mad. I don't like it.
But although sometimes, like by now, I know Cole is always late,
Mm-hmm.
and then so if I'm like far, I was like, okay, just let me wait 15 minutes because Cole is going to say he's late first.
Yeah. At least I say it.
You be the one.
I know. I try so hard, but it just doesn't happen.
No, it's
What's so funny is I used to be the person that was always like 15, 20 minutes early, and I would always wait, but maybe it's just LA. I don't
It's
know.
LA.
I don't know
It's
what
LA.
it is. I do know the traffic is horrible.
It's very hard. Yeah.
And it's so boring, and you know that you're not far away, but you're really not far, but it's going to take an hour.
But you know what I use, like actually because the LA traffic, I start to call people
I do
when
too,
I
yeah.
drive, and then actually help me stay more connected with people.
That is a great way to look at it.
Hello.
Yes. That's the same with me. I call people a lot more. I
Yeah.
called my cousin earlier today. I don't talk to him a lot. Talk for like an hour because you have an hour because it takes an hour. Yeah. That's a good point. Positive.
Positivity.
And that brings me to I feel like ever since I first met you in the acting class, you had such a positive, bright energy. Is that, which is very like people I think are drawn to that, and that's awesome, and you bring that to your comedy. Do you feel like that's I thought Rich was like,
No, it's like yeah, right. He's like yeah, all the positivity to other people. I got it actually.
so okay, that's to my question.
Yeah.
How do you keep that up, and is there things that you do, like are you super dead when you're alone, like, or are you like, what do you do to kind of keep that positivity? Because I know it can't be all the time, but we have to, I think in kind of what we do, you try to be as positive as possible.
Yeah.
How do you kind of stay positive, I guess?
Yeah, I think the positivity come from I think growing up, like things are hard, right? When things are hard, I just wanted to find a way to cheer myself to keep on going. I think at the time is almost positivity is for survival.
Yeah.
When because if it's so hard, you like, what do? I have no choice. I need to go to that school, so I need to find a reason to get out of bed, and I think it just become a habit. But these days, most of the time, I wake up, I'm generally excited about what I do. I'm like, I love what I do, and I'm excited. I can find reasons and to do. But of course, that what goes up must come down, right? There are times.
Rich, do you have anything to say about this? I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's on down.
Yeah, I think there are times like the other day I had a mental meltdown. I had a like actually I had a when I did a show at a brewery. I had a great set actually. The direction was good, and I'm happy with my performance. And then at the end of the show, then people keep coming talk to me to tell me, good job. Okay, one person good job, another person good job. I lost it in my inside.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I probably hate good job more than anything. I hate it more than bombing. Because when it's bombing, I know it, right? I know it, and it's like I found something I gotta work harder. A good job is almost like you think you did good, that people see you as an amateur. Nobody will tell Dave Chappelle good job. Nobody will tell.
Dave Chappelle, like, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm not comparing myself to Dave Chappelle, but
Yeah.
like like you don't go tell your doctor good job.
Yeah.
You don't tell your lawyer good
Yeah.
job. It's you tell somebody good job when you are in a position to evaluate their work.
I see. Okay. So do you want them to say anything particular or not really?
Just great set.
More like great.
Where I really enjoyed it. Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
sometimes there are people who will say you're amazing, I see it. But when people tell me good job, and that's fine. I don't think everybody, but then in one night when you have 3 people come tell you, I was like, oh, but that's I'm not blaming them though.
No.
I had a moment for myself because I feel like I've been wanting to have this breakthrough in me for a while. It's like one thing is about killing do a really good job at performing a set, and but what is make you jump out, what make you memorable, what make you like is different and like join to this character, right? So I've been wanting to work on that breakthrough, but that night is when I just like so of course I was feeling down for like the next 2 days.
Yeah. And I totally get that. It's funny how it's usually like a couple day thing. My mom has this rule for herself. She says if she gets depressed, she gives herself like 3 days. And after the 3 days, no matter what, even if she doesn't feel good still, she's just like, no, I'm shaking it off. Like I'm getting past it.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do need like whatever that is, that like reset for a couple days. To figure
It's
it out.
true. It's true.
So outside of, what is another, we won't go down the dark rabbit hole, but what is like another thing that really is tough about just, I guess, the industry in general to you?
To me.
Yeah.
To me specifically, I think there are just so much to prove, right? And like there's a lot of things to go against somebody like me, like the not only just a minority, but also in comedy, like Asian women, like people see, like no matter what, that's same people see. You don't see that many like are so funny, and then on top of that, the accent, right? The interesting thing is audience actually can understand me fine, but industry people, the gatekeepers, they in their mind is like, well, there's maybe in LA, but outside in the middle of America there's no way. But the thing is, I did perform in the middle of America. You know what I mean? Like that they have their own limitations, and it's not tested out. It's not, you cannot prove them wrong, right? Like, by talking they think they're right because they are in the industry for so long.
Isn't that crazy that there are legitimately gatekeepers? Like, that might sound silly to say, but coming here, I guess I knew that, but I don't know. It's like you really see it all the time. And there are legit gatekeepers who you just got to know them or have a relationship with them. Yeah, it's crazy.
And another thing is also, I feel like in this town, there's so much about you appear humble. Then people think you're like, especially somebody like me, because they don't assume you are, funny, whatever, right? They don't think you're good. So I generally, in my heart, so I try to be a humble person, modest, and then like I always want to work, get better. But then I feel like the moment I appear, that people are just like to be dismissed. Like you almost have everybody was like, oh, I'm the biggest star, right? I'm a star.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but
Actually, I know what you mean. I've had people I've talked to that, in the industry, like people who, whether it's managers or industry professionals, they do want you to be like, yo, I'm the shit. Like, this is why I'm here. I'm a star. Like, I'm gonna make you money. Like, I'm gonna make you money.
Yeah.
But for me, especially the older I get, like, you work on not being like that.
Yeah.
You work on like, I'm actually not the shit. My dreams didn't come true like I wanted them to, or this didn't happen, or that didn't happen. I'm like, everyone's story's different. You have to like convince yourself and talk through these things. So it's kind of,
it's like
funny.
Know my self-worth, but I don't need to blow up like
and
like
that's
walk
not
around like this.
It's only attractive to them, really. It's not attractive to regular people.
I just know who I am, right? So part of that, I feel like my fans, my audience, we have a connection because I'm authentic, like I'm true to myself. But that the industry want to see a different version,
That sucks because they're in control, kind of, or the audience technically, but the industry. Very interesting. That was a good answer.
Yeah.
And I think that's also partly why we all connect, is because we're all authentic and true to ourselves. Okay, so let's talk about the music video before it gets too long here. Okay, so Asian chicken salad. So we have talked about it a little bit as we made the GoFundMe, but I was trying to think of something that we didn't really get into that we could kind of share about it.
Okay.
and I don't really have exactly what it is yet, but I'm gonna think of it.
Okay, on
Your
the spot,
eyes-
right? On
your-
the spot. Do I eyes got big? Hey,
yeah.
my eyes
It's
got
like,
big.
I really think it's like, how was rapping harder than you thought, or was it like easier than you thought?
Well, I definitely think it's with your help, it's easier than I thought. The reason
good.
being, if I go to karaoke, I can never rap,
Yeah,
right? All
yeah.
the songs, like, there's no way. I'm like, I cannot even say the word to put all the syllables. So I don't really ever think I will be a rapper, but I like it. You know, when I do karaoke, even though I don't say the words, right, I'm still like, I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah,
Yes.
but the fact that, like, when you drop the first draft, when you did this, it was a hot mess. Like, it was terrible. But I think just I practiced. I feel like, and we intentionally chose something slow. The tempo was slow, so it wasn't like Eminem.
Yeah, but I think you really, because seeing you from the very beginning being so like, oh my God, I don't know if I can,
Yeah.
but I just know that anyone who has a little bit of rhythm can. Like, and I knew once you started, I was like, you'll definitely get it. But yeah, I think it's really about the writing. It's like how you write and how slow
Wrote it, yeah.
the thing goes. Because yeah, I've done in the beginning when I would write raps, I would always try to fit so many words into the lines. 'Cause I
Yeah.
wanted to be so cool and have so many words and so fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's better to say less. And so yeah, I think that translated.
And then in a way that I feel like these days I start to pay more attention to raps after we do this, and I start to notice like the cool raps, blah, 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 you do this, right? People say, wow, that's cool. But then, like, if you really want people to hear what you're saying, you gotta
deeper stuff.
slow down a little bit. You
That's
cannot
true.
go that tempo.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of the deeper stuff is slower. Like if you think of a J. Cole type rapper. But there's still other people who are fast and deep, but that's even harder because then you have to say so much and then so many like deep lines.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But yeah, I think you did so good at picking it up, and it took a little bit, but it really wasn't that hard.
They're like
feel like you did.
improved. I improved.
You improved a lot. Yes. Yeah. How was the first studio experience?
At your place studio or like a recording studio?
The recording studio.
The recording studio. So that's my first time recording anything ever in a studio. I've never done it before, right? So I don't even know. I feel like next time I'll be mentally more prepared, like with my energy and
I
everything.
remember you saying, yeah, you're kind of worried about if your energy is the same.
Yeah, that day I wasn't, you know, lately I watched this Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett, their a little bit mini documentary on how they recorded that jazz album.
Okay.
And I just felt, wow, okay, that's what you do in a recording studio. And sometimes the two people you gotta to play, you know, like when we're talking, we're really talking to each other. And so I got inspired. So okay, next time what I want to bring more energy in that moment.
I like that. And I think a piece of it too is we really had a schedule for just a couple hours. I think what people like that do is they're like in there for days and days, and they're just really feeling the energy and feeling each other and the music and this and that.
Yeah.
And that probably adds a lot.
Yeah.
To it. And it gives you more time to find your whatever you're trying to find.
Yeah, because like when they were, I remember one part like Tony was telling Lady Gaga, it's like, just talk to me. Like this is the line, you're talking to me. And that like you can see the difference with the pre and after recording.
Yeah, it's a whole thing just how to be in the studio, because when you're alone, like we were in the house doing it, I think there's probably more excitement.
Yeah.
Like you're just really excited too, but it's just different than actually being in the legit place that you paid for in the studio.
And even people don't see me, like I think next time they dress properly, like, you know what I mean?
Dress
like
how you feel.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's a great thing. Actually, yeah, because if I dress really cool, I feel cool. It makes you want to like be confident.
Yeah,
Versus if you just go in like sweatpants or whatever, it's like
right.
That's a good note, actually. Yeah.
Next time I'll wear my wig.
Yeah, we gotta wear the wig next time. Yeah, seriously, godmother, yeah.
Godmother, yeah.
Godmother, yeah. Okay, so how is the song what you thought it would be?
Explain that again one more time.
So is the song what you thought it would be? Is it like when you envisioned it in the very beginning? Is it anything kind of like you thought it would be, or is it different, better, worse? Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. So, when we were first doing the song, I imagined the part of us going back and forth, that the comedy part, and that a story come alive. I did not know the trap will come, right?
Yeah.
But then like the trap is something that happened in real life. It was a specific moment. I didn't tell in my stand-up comedy because I have this vivid. I was just trapping. It was like I can't trap anymore. That's what it triggered me to buy the salad from the store. Yeah, and then so when we added the trap, like I had all the fun, and then I feel like that's the most exciting thing. People, it stick with you. Yeah.
That's exactly
people
right.
remember.
Yeah.
And what's funny is like, okay, because I performed the thing, the song, every time people will say, "Oh my God, I just had Asian chicken. I was thinking about you."
Yeah.
Now I got fans sending me Instagram stories all the time. They will tag me when they get an Asian chicken salad.
And it hasn't even dropped yet.
Yeah, it hasn't even dropped
You
yet.
might have lots of send an Asian chicken salad to us.
Okay, yeah, if you run to take a picture, send it to us. Every time you see it on the menu, take a picture, send it to us.
Send it. That made me think. Made me think of something. Why can't I
One day,
Yeah.
I want to have like Godmother Yes brand of Asian chicken salad.
That would be so. You totally should.
Yeah.
What would be different about it?
What it would be different about
Yeah,
it?
would you like add something, like some spice or?
Maybe the dressing will be different.
There you go. That's a
Maybe
good
the
idea.
dressing.
You should do that.
Yeah.
So you have the chopsticks. You have the OnlyFans. Check out her OnlyFans.
Oh yeah. I can show you once I can get out of this chair too.
Yeah, you can grab it if you want.
Oh yeah. Okay. I will
Why
grab
not?
it. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. I got you. Do it. What was I gonna say? Rich, what was I gonna say, man? Yeah. Who the hell is this godmother? Oh yeah. How would you describe godmother?
Oh, Godmother. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Which one do you want to hear first? OnlyFans or
OnlyFans. Let's do OnlyFans. We got the fans.
So okay, look. Okay. So this is what I call Bernice's OnlyFan. And it is Oops. Okay. And then so what in here is like basically Chinese calligraphy of the Asian chicken salad recipe.
That's so cool.
And
you hand drew those, right?
I designed it with my cousin who is a professional calligrapher teacher in China, and we chose the very specific font where like it's like the old font that has like closer to the shape or the meaning of the words that you can guess. So like for example, this is
A duck.
chicken.
Oh, chicken. Shit.
It's not Asian ducks.
That's not fun. We'll cut that out. A chicken. Yeah, that is a chicken for
It's
sure.
fine. Duck and chicken looks alike.
Yeah, they
Right,
do.
right,
They do.
right. So you can guess.
Wait, is
like,
there another one? Okay.
you can probably guess this.
A fork. Shit.
It's one. Coal. This is a one.
Oh, one. Okay.
Okay, if that's the one, what is this?
Okay, this is 4.
Yes, good job. so basically, and this is a mouse.
A mouse. Okay.
Yeah, so that's pretty.
Yeah,
like,
that's pretty good. It's
You
pretty
can
good.
guess,
Yeah,
and then later I've been writing everyone. So everyone is different. That's why I call it the OnlyFans.
Yeah, that was a really good title. Branding wise, that was good. That was good. Okay, so now who is godmother yet?
Godmother, yeah. You can cut the things if you feel like it's not appropriate for the audience, but
I don't cut anything, really.
Okay, you don't
unless
cut
you wanted to be cut.
no, it's okay. So Godmother, yeah. So this is what happened. I always had the Godmother Year name in my head. It's one of the joke I had. What happened is when I was in my middle school, I was like I was very good with school. My nickname is 学霸. It's like Lord of Study.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I was that good. I was the number one of the whole grade, right? But the thing is, unlike the other kids who were good with grades, well, I sell my homework to the gangster kids.
Entrepreneur. Yeah.
And I got them to do the chores I don't like to do. Like, cause at a school, we have to eat the school breakfast. I never finish because it's not good, and so I don't want to wash dishes. So it's like, well, I give you my homework, you wash my dishes, and then if I write like those essays and stuff. You know, you write a draft and then it's bad handwriting and then you make corrections. I said, okay, this is my draft, copy it. Like, yeah. So, but then like I give them some value too, right? Because they can get good grades, they go to their parents, they're happy. Very good deal.
Yeah.
It's
it is. I mean, honestly, yeah.
Yeah. So in my head, I'm like the godmother. Yeah. I'm like the godmother of the gangster kids.
I see. That's where it came from.
So that's I have when I was writing comedy, like that's the things that I've been thinking in my head, but I don't call it out loud. And I think somewhere this year earlier, I took Molly, and then like and that's just the time we were start copy rapping. And I know that night I came back. Rich was sick, so I was lit. I was very lit. I was so happy, and Rich is sick.
So you're on Molly alone, pretty much.
Alone, I was no. I'm going to my car. I'm going live. Like I went on Instagram live. It was pouring rain. I was in my car and started. You know what? I'm going to rap. I'm going to practice my rap. I start to rap Asian chicken salad. Yeah, and then through that, I was like, let me put on the hoodie on because like I want to look cool. And then I just started talking in a different voice, like, mother and I started to do this whole character. And then I talk shit for a long time. And I realized when I'm on Molly and then I'm doing Godmother I am talking to my inner voice. But it's that voice that has no fear. It's the inner voice that got me that positivity. Like when you're down, when you're afraid. Yes. But there's a part of you to tell, like, you gotta go. You gotta believe in yourself, right?
It's like that's confident.
That's the inner voice is Godmother telling me to do that. So that day, Godmother was born.
So, okay, this inner voice, because I have an inner voice. I tell my friend Josh, you have like a best friend and y'all kind of shit talk to each other sometimes, or most people do shit talk to your friends. Whenever he shit talks me, I say, you can't talk more shit to me than I talk to myself. So I talk a lot of shit to myself. But it's kind of like that godmother thing. It's like I'm like, dude, get the fuck up and go do it. Like don't be a bitch. Go do what you're supposed to do. So it's like some people would see that as like a negative voice, but it also is kind of it really does help me out. But because no one in the world can pretty much talk worse to me than I've been talked to myself. I don't know what my therapist would say about that, but is yours more positive or negative? Like the godmother, is it more like you're a star, or is it like if you don't do that, you're gonna fail?
I think it's not the pep talk like that, but I think godmother is like fuck the rules, like or don't listen to what other people just because other people do that doesn't mean you have to do it. And the godmother is all rules and suggestions, create your own path, do your own way, your own way. That's how I feel.
I love that. And back one step. I think drugs. So I've never done Molly. I would like to try it.
It's amazing.
Cool. Yeah. I think it would be
I'm writing the song. You need Molly.
Yes. We are. Stay tuned.
We're writing the song.
Yeah, I guess I have to try it before we do that.
What happened to you? Oh, okay.
I'll pause this chord here. Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about drugs. So I haven't done Molly, and I really haven't done anything but weed. Which some people don't even really consider that much, but so I do edibles occasionally, and there's some just kind of like your Molly experience. I think it's really important, kind of, especially if you're creative and like as an entrepreneur person, you get it's just like all day, every day, you're doing all this shit, and to really take you out of that and to be just like alone in your head. You don't have to be alone, but this whimsical state for several hours.
Flow state.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like days or anything. It doesn't have to be that often. But sometimes I think it really can help you like further.
For sure.
So I think that's cool that you did that.
Yeah, and then I always I do this thing. Well, first of all, like I look like a good student to a lot of people.
Yeah,
They assume
like
that
you wouldn't do.
I wouldn't do drugs.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like I'm a big Molly
I was surprised, to be fair.
advocate.
Yeah,
But I'm a responsible, right? Because like
Yeah.
Molly, if you don't get the right Molly and stuff, it can mess up your brain.
That's usually why I don't do stuff, because I'm like, I feel like I just moved here, and this is like where there's a lot of drugs, and I'm like, I don't really trust. I don't know where to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I have a good source. That's why.
Yeah, no, I do.
But the thing is also I'm responsible because I know brain is all I got. So
Yeah.
I'm like so responsible. I put on my calendar like, so this is my last Sunday monthly. I'm not doing it like unless it's at least 3 months past.
Okay. That's
So
cool.
I'm
That's
like
good. Yeah.
set apart.
safe about it.
Yeah, so Asian about it. Put on the calendar. Oh, just a reminder. Now you're due.
Yeah. Now you can take it off. Yeah, I think that's smart. I think that's good. And I feel like edible is such a small example, but I don't do it very often very often as in, I don't like to do it multiple days in a row. So I do feel a little bit like the next day, I just feel a little bit maybe tired or something. I don't know what it is. I just feel a little off. So I don't like to do it all the time, but it is just really nice to come out of that.
Yeah.
What about, or I don't know if you'd say, about mushrooms? You ever done mushrooms?
I would love to.
I think I would too. Yeah. It's kind of similar.
Yeah, have the right setup,
Yes,
But I have
safe
never-
environment with the right people. Yeah, I agree. Okay, enough of the drugs. Okay, so okay, Asian chicken salad music video. It's out now. Y'all please go check it out if you haven't yet. I want you to talk about a little bit about your experience, because I've done a lot of music videos and stuff, but this is your first one.
Oh my god, yeah.
And this is you. Honestly, production wise, this was about, or maybe tied with, the biggest that I've been a part of, because you put together such an awesome team. So yeah, how was that for you in general?
I know.
Creatively, and then also I know it was stressful. Probably.
But then I had so much fun, and first of all, I am so proud of what we're able to accomplish.
I am
right?
too. It was
like
cool. Yeah.
when we were talking about the song was March, and then we're talking about a music video. I'm sure at the time we're just thinking about, let's just bring a camera, shoot something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah.
that's what we were thinking.
Yeah.
And until then we have a Jun An on board, I was still thinking very small production. But I think once I start to tell people about the project, people are excited. They bring what they can bring to the project, and then boom, boom, boom,
really did.
production value start to add on.
And everyone that you brought on was super authentic and cool and real and great, and that was really cool too, because that doesn't always happen.
Does not happen. I got so lucky.
Yeah,
In a way, I feel like it's a little God given. It's like, how could it happen? I still don't know. Like it's the God sent. Yeah, going to places.
Yeah, that same thing you were talking about earlier. The like with us knowing each other and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about it for sure.
Yeah.
But continue. Sorry.
Is and like even a week before the shoot, there's so many things we don't have. We don't have a location for the store. I was still location scout everywhere. And our Jun An is so talented, but he is one man operation. He does everything, so he doesn't communicate. By the way, our director lives in New York. Right, and then he doesn't communicate with people, and so everything is here, and we're just freaking out. Like we don't have a plan. We don't have we just nailed down. I remember that day we did our first dance rehearsal. Remember, it was so hot.
Yeah, it was very hot.
It was so hot. We
I
were
was so nervous too. Yeah.
in the garage that is no AC.
Yeah.
Locked in. And after that, we had a production meeting. We don't have the script. We don't have the shoot schedule.
That was a great meeting.
Yeah, but then that's the time we decided, you know what, I'm going to jump in more into the production.
And it helped so much.
And then we start to write the script down, write scene by scene. And we went to, everything is closed at that point. We went to amp rehearsal because they have open until midnight.
Okay.
So loud. They're rehearsing.
Everyone's
and then we're in the lobby doing a Zoom call with the Jun An. We're just like, that's like, stayed until 4 a.m. for him, New York.
Shit.
And we're just going down line by line by line. All of a sudden we have clarity. It's
It helped
insane.
so much. I remember you telling me after, and I was like, wow,
Yeah.
Amazing. And y'all got on the same page about everything.
Yeah. And then like the level of lucky, okay, humble brag, you should brag. So
Okay, yeah.
the Rachel Lita who did my hair, the little the spiky hair.
Uh-huh.
If you go to her Instagram, check out. She's like doing hair for Cardi B, Doja Cat. Like, you know, but she didn't even mention that. I know she's amazing. She's a true artist,
Yeah.
but like when she's so humble. She doesn't need to bring all the things.
Yeah,
And then
that's
later
cool.
it's like, oh my god, that's who she did my hair
Yeah, that's crazy.
for this budget. you
Yeah,
know?
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, even I mean everyone, literally everyone, and working with Viola was really cool.
Yeah, and Sophia, oh my
Yeah,
god,
Sophia
it's a,
was
like
great.
I think our music video looks so cool. Like
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much to her coming up with such a cool and fun choreography.
Yes, and I feel like being patient with me. I was so glad. She was so sweet on the day of too,
Yeah,
and very patient.
so patient.
That
Yeah.
was very helpful. Yeah, all of it just came together, and to see the final product is really cool. Yeah, how do you feel like seeing it done? It probably wasn't like a big because you've been working on it. You know, we both have been seeing it, but was there like a moment where you were just like,
When I see the first polished draft, like I think I sent you the first polished draft,
I think
and
so, yeah.
I was just sitting there. It's like, okay, you know, it's only August,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like, I was looking at, okay, in January we didn't even have the song.
yeah,
In March, we just have the first draft of the song.
yeah.
And in a short amount of time, what we were able to do, and we did it with $5,000.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Oh yeah, that was another huge part, was raising the $5,000, which was almost exclusively your fan base. Which
Friends
was,
and family too.
yeah, well, it was so cool for that to come
It was
together.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge part of it. The GoFundMe. Yeah, it's
Knowing that, like, that, you know, because I mean, we ended up, now I'm spending more on the marketing and the promotion stuff, so it's beyond that. But like having that support that relieves so much pressure and then allow us to like push the boundary more. Like if I didn't have the crowdfunding, when Viola were pushing me to get a stylist, to get hair and makeup, I'm gonna say no, because actually she still put my legs for that. Like I didn't want to spend money on it, and then like, look, they make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, honestly, seeing the way you looked versus the way I looked, I was like, I think I'm gonna start hiring a hair person, especially because I was like, I just don't know what to do.
But your
with my
hair looks so cool.
I mean, it's cool, but you know how when you look at yourself, you're like, I think it could be cooler.
Yeah, that's
There's been a couple videos where I've done some cooler hairstyles, and guys don't do that enough. It seems like so.
So if you do, you really stand out.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying different things. Like if I would have done, or for the next one, maybe like you did. What was the big for the carrot outfit, whatever that was.
The carrot,
I
the
could do crazy
spiky
stuff like
thing
that
was
too,
great.
It'll be fun to play with different things. But yeah, this music video showed me, because I've never had those types of people really involved much outside of like maybe an acting set. But yeah, there's so much that goes into it, and it adds a lot.
But then there's another thing I found is like so fun. Actually, I feel more at home and natural at the music video sometimes than even stand up.
Wow.
It's like, it's so weird because like when we're writing the song and we're like, oh, we have visuals, right?
Yeah.
A lot of this it was my idea. A lot of the things putting into like the Chinatown's #1 burger. That's what I want. But even when we shoot, Jungan was going to shoot it differently, and I said, I just have this idea how I shoot it, and he loved it. And he's very open to my idea. This chopping scene in the kitchen, that was like, I wanted it.
I really like that scene.
Yeah, that's my idea. Like I always envisioned that.
Yeah, you pretty much were like, I mean, we all worked together, but like co-producer, co-director.
Yeah.
I mean, you did so much.
Yeah.
So it's kind of has inspired you to want to do more.
Yeah, I really like it. You know, like even some of the dancing on the spot with like the whole curtain move up. That's also like, how about try this?
Yeah.
I feel so free, and my ideas keep on coming. Like I just keep on having ideas. You know, I really want to do more.
Yeah. More is on the way. Yeah, we really have to. We have to figure.
I
out.
had a lot of fun for like
It was a lot of fun. The whole thing was cool. I knew it was gonna be good as soon as I saw the first shot and the way they were lighting it, and then I looked at the camera and I was like, I didn't worry about it because
Yeah.
usually I would be kind of like, is it gonna be good? Like I don't really know, but
there are definitely very stressful times at the Sober
yeah.
Cafe that day.
Yeah.
I think everyone was very stressed out.
Yeah, I think I missed most of that, but towards the end, I was just mad at myself because I sucked at the dancing part. But
No,
y'all had other stuff before that. That was
it was hard.
it was rough.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's hard. It's not easy. That's for sure.
Because that is a Somber Cafe. All that stuff is where complete Junan's vision, right? So I know the storyline. I know the storyline part. I know the dancing part. I know a lot of the kitchen chopping. But that Somber Cafe is kind of Junan's vision. So I was told on the spot of how I should perform and act that part.
Yeah.
And then there's so many people all looking at me. So that's like a lot of pressure.
Stressful, yeah.
It's a pressure.
I felt that for the first time on this. I did a little short film a couple months ago, and I hadn't really memorized my lines all the way. It was for a school, and so I guess I didn't take it as seriously. And it was one of my first things, and I knew it, but I didn't really know it. And I got up there, and it was a rehearsal, and there was literally like 20 people in the room. They were all staring at me, and I did not know my lines properly, and I kind of flubbed through them. And in my head, I was like, wait, they spent months preparing for this, and then they spent hours and hours prepping this scene, these lights, all these people are running around, they're staring at me. And then the director right after that rehearsal was like, you got your lines memorized, right? And I was like, yeah. And I went and I like studied for whatever, but it was very when you realize all that's like counting on you as the performer, it's a lot, especially also when you're involved in the back end like you were for this,
right?
Because you're also thinking about, like, do I look good? Are these people, paid? Is this happening? Blah, blah, blah.
Just a lot of other things. But I feel like that's the thing that I don't know what it should look like. I didn't rehearse. Like, for example, the fighting scene.
Yeah.
Oh, that fight is also my idea. Like, was a complete my vision.
I could not believe how that came out. Because that was pretty much all run and gun in the store. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was good.
Really impressed.
But the thing is, we rehearsed, like we tried in the kitchen. We took a cell phone just to like see what can put
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we modified it because something works in your head doesn't work and how do you simplify enough you can actually shoot without causing the scene or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, so there was no, we can say that, because it doesn't know the story. There was no permission to be in the grocery store or anything. And how fast did y'all get it done?
We got less than an hour.
Less than an hour. Nice.
Yeah.
And that was kind of being sneaky.
Well, it's actually 2 locations, but we look look at one.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That was one I was low key glad I wasn't a part of that one because I get so nervous in situations.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you, Rich. Thank you.
We got the Jungan and I were there, just like a student project.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There you go. Yeah. You just like smart.
A bunch of kids.
It's a little student project. That's funny. Yeah. I couldn't believe how that turned out. It just was so good.
Well, the security did come talk to us, but they're so nice.
Oh, they were nice. That's
They're
really
very
good.
nice.
So did they kick you out, or did they?
No. They just like what's going on here, and then we tell them, oh, we're doing this whole thing, we're a student project, and they're like, okay, and they're actually very nice. And then there's the staff said, do you want us in the shot?
Oh yeah, that's perfect. I think most people are nice about it, especially here. But the one we were at, the Thai restaurant, they weren't as nice. Yeah, even though they knew about it.
That's like the owner was so nice to me, but then like he wasn't there.
Yeah, it was the staff. Yeah, you never know, but that's what it is. But it turned out so freaking good. We'll wrap this up here. Is there anything else you want to say about the music video or the song or I guess anything? Oh, actually, before that, I do want to say something. Okay. So when we first started the song, and you invited me to perform it the first time.
Oh yeah.
At what was it called? I can't remember.
The Glendale Room.
The Glendale Room. It's where it's pretty much a bunch of comics just trying jokes.
Yeah,
right?
open mic.
Yeah, it's like an open mic. Anyways, I just wanted to say thank you because this song in general, with the pandemic happening and then just moving here, and I feel like in like it's a weird space creatively with music, particularly. YouTube, I was fine, but I feel like I just was kind of out of it. But this song and starting to perform again has really just inspired me, and I've just been making so much music and looking at more places to perform and continually chasing that. So thank you very much, because it was a big inspiration, and just getting back up on stage in any capacity was like, Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I really do like this. This is fun.
We're gonna perform at the launch party together. And we're gonna do the
Every
dance.
single day I feel the
We're gonna
pressure.
do
Practice,
yes.
please. I need to practice. I just don't want to do the one where I'll do that.
Oh no, we cut
Okay.
that. We don't do
Okay.
it. We just do the robot chop.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's use it,
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of hated the way I looked in that one.
I actually just felt like very awkward in that too.
Yeah,
I felt
there's
very
something.
awkward.
I think it was kind of supposed to be awkward
Yeah.
a little bit, but
Yeah.
I felt it. I definitely. Anyways, okay. Anything else you want to say about the music video, the song, or life, whatever?
Well, another I think a shout out is to the crew.
Yeah,
You know,
God, they did so good.
yeah, so amazing. Everyone was so amazing. Our director Jungan, oh my god, he is like a unicorn. He
Yeah,
does
yeah.
he's a director, he's a DP, he is editor, post product, he's like sound effect. He did even sound design. He did sound design.
Yeah, he killed it.
Yeah, and then we have our AD Knox Young, our co-producer Sebastian. We have stylist Viola and Sophia choreographer, and then the stylist and the makeup was all amazing.
Yeah,
Shout out to them, but I also want to call out how many of us are first generation immigrants and a largely Asian American crew, and I feel like we all bring our point of view into this. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, and then I guess we didn't talk about this on this podcast, but yeah, it's really, I don't really feel like I think about race a lot, and maybe I am privileged, obviously, but it's also a privilege maybe to not be able to think about it. But it is so cool when you to kind of look around and be like, we are all different, but we're all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just, it's really cool.
Yeah, because I feel like that's the thing. People remember to say, "Oh, we don't see color, but we do." Like but you know, the thing is like it's not about we don't talk about race, but we talk about race in a way that we're the same, or we find a connection.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's crazy how
it's not like putting on a label so we're different, but it's like knowing that so we got to know each other more, know our differences, so that we can know our common places.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think that's a thing that's kind of what's special about the project too. And we've talked about that.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
What about you? Do you have anything
About this project?
last thing to say?
I just want people to check it out. I want y'all to watch it. I want y'all to listen to it. And I think that it's going to be the beginning of some more songs to come. And outside of just the fact that this has been a huge inspiration, I've also been, creatively, also inspired by your work ethic and putting it all together. And I work hard on all the projects that I do, but particularly with this project, I was inspired by how much work you put into one thing, because that is hard, and I struggle with that because I'm like, it'll be fine, and I'll do like 20 projects and I'll be fine. But what if I spent, so many hours on one project? And so that was really, really cool to see, and it pays off. And it looks really good.
Because I also like to finish things.
That's a big thing.
Yeah. Like
as a creative,
I think it's getting to finish, and you can always do another one again, but you learn from the one and get your work to audience, to people.
Yes. I'm always of the mindset, which sometimes is bad, but sometimes it's good, of I do just I finish it, which is also, it's kind of what I'm saying. I could have 80 projects, but I don't always spend the amount of hours I could to make them as good as you did for this particular project. So y'all go check it out. Asian Chicken Salad. It's out now. If you don't have, you want to plug anything else? You want to plug like a merch or anything, or are you good?
We don't need to plug the merch, but by the time you watch this, I'm sure the dance challenge is out, and it's gonna be so much fun, and you should do it.
Yeah. Do you want to do it for them really quick?
You only if you do it with me.
Okay. Is it hard to stand up?
Just do the chop, and then we do the face thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Find.
I know the bitch your ass. Siri, what is an Asian chicken salad?
How do you make it? How do you make it? Cabbage,
Chopped,
veggies,
chopped,